Hi, hello, welcome to Felixstowe Live. My name's Chris, and today I've got a guest in my little studio, which is a lady called Sadie Ray. Good morning to you, Sadie. We're here in the morning, and we're going to have a little chat about a few things because you are, can I say it, you're not in a good situation, are you? You're a local woman in Felixstowe.
No, that's right,
and you've had really 2 tough years, and it doesn't look like ending anytime soon.
Correct, yes.
Tell us what's happening to you.
So I was diagnosed back in the pandemic as it started, around about sort of July sort of time.
Mm-hmm.
We knew we had cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer of unknown primary and wasn't expected to make my first Christmas.
Right.
And then off the back of that, seeked a second opinion. And the second opinion sort of confirmed that I had a germ cell tumour and that I was to be referred to London. Unfortunately, that took some time because of the pandemic and COVID restrictions. So of March of last year, I was taken on by Imperial at Charing Cross Hospital, put under Professor Seckle, whereby he then started treating the germ cell tumour.
Right.
Since then, I've had numerous rounds of chemotherapy, 2 lots of stem cell transplants. Unfortunately, the second transplant failed, resulting in the cancer spreading to my liver. And we've had some tests go off to America. Test results came back. The recommendation is to start Pembo, which is the immunotherapy drug that we're obviously, I've started.
Right.
And we are just sort of going from there, really.
So that kind of brings us up to date.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, in a nutshell, without going on too much.
Right. But it's. I mean, you've made it a short story, but it's actually a long and
very
pretty
long
uncomfortable story as well.
Yes, absolutely. I've had over 30 rounds of different types of chemotherapy, which has ultimately taken its toll on my body. The last lot of chemotherapy that I was put on, which was a regime called POM-ACE. The reason they put me on that regime was the spread to the liver. It's for germ cell tumours that spread. But ultimately it was it was killing me. My body was taking a lot longer to recover, whereby it was on a 2-weekly cycle. It was taking 3 to 4 weeks for my body to actually come back between treatments to a safe level, bloods to a safe level, whereby I could then have more chemotherapy. I guess, the saviour is the Caris results coming in with the recommendation of immunotherapy. Immunotherapy is very different to chemotherapy, whereby the side effects usually are much more tolerable on the individual.
Right.
And I have to say, actually, I feel much better now I've been off chemotherapy for a while. I'm having the immunotherapy.
So you're actually having that treatment now?
I am, yes. Right. Yeah, I've had 2 rounds and I'm due my 3rd infusion on the 13th of April.
So you've had 2 rounds of treatment, you've got a 3rd, is that the final, or have you got more to come after that, do you know?
So what's been arranged is 5 cycles of the immunotherapy. They test your bloods every week anyway to see what the tumour markers are doing, how your body's recovering, if there's any flags, red flags that they need addressing. But the plan is to have 5, and then they're going to rescan me.
Right.
So they will do an MRI and a CT, whereby they'll probably do full body to check that it hasn't gone to the brain, there's no more spread on the liver, and to see what the actual tumour itself is doing, whether it's responding, is it growing, is it reducing, and at that point that's where we'll know whether we continue with the immunotherapy or what is the backup plan, really.
What happens next?
I'm not sure what the backup plan is, because I'm hoping that we don't need it.
One of the things that's really quite important from our point of view here in Felixstowe is that you're a Felixstowe girl, and people in Felixstowe have been supportive.
Massively, yeah.
And the problem with that is that you still need support, in inverted commas, insofar as money is concerned, because you're working with a charity that's helping you to fund your treatment.
Correct.
Because this is a treatment the NHS doesn't cover.
Yes, that's right.
So the fundraising side is really quite important, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have been, awarded by the charity, the 5 rounds of immunotherapy. And, the moral contract, if you like, there's no formal contract, but the moral contract is that, we help raise funds for the next Sadie, the next mummy, the next daddy that needs treatment that is not funded by the NHS. I think they take on about 5 patients a year through their charity, where they look, obviously, because this treatment, one patient could need up to £100,000 of treatment in 1 year. So that's why, obviously, they're the patients that they have obviously kept to a minimum because of the funding and the fundraising. So the moral agreement is that, they take you on as a patient, they've agreed to do 5 rounds of immunotherapy, and, me as an individual have to go away and do fundraising for them or for the next patient, as I said, which is, what we are doing, and, very grateful for the support, already received, sort of overwhelming, really.
Yeah. Tell me what you've done so far. What have you actually done so far?
So my sister out in Tenerife is doing a head shave on Good Friday.
Yep.
So she's out there. She works for a local bar, and they are promoting, and they're doing a big promotion out there for it. To help me, and my very close friends here in Felixstowe. They're all local girls again, all well known. And they have gone away and thought, we'll do a little raffle, see how many raffle tickets we can sell. We never thought in, 1,000 years that we would have already raised over £3,000. That's without the raffle ticket sales. You also have Mel Pipe at Elite Universal. He is doing a fundraiser whereby he does it every year for the Grand National. He sells jockeys, horses. He's also doing golf thing, not quite sure how that works, sorry. My husband will be very disappointed to hear that. Whereby he sells them, and he is, very generously said that the proceeds of that will be going to the Just Giving page. So, we've got lots of people actively helping, people donating prizes to the raffle. We've got 77 prizes up for grabs, which all donations which, again, overwhelmingly, they are, very much gratefully received. And not only that, people have gone onto the page and just donated. And this charity, like I say, they are quite picky about who they take on. You do have to go through a process. There is a tick box process. Does your oncologist think this treatment will work? Yes or no? If they think it will work, yes, then that's a box ticked. How well you are you on end of life? Are you keeping yourself well? Those sort of things. They want to know that the money that they're ploughing into you is almost an investment. So. They sort of look at you as an individual and I guess take you on based on lots of different things, and
probably part of how they feel about you after talking to you as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite an intensive process that you have to go through, but I guess are you going to do the things that they sort of morally expect of you? Yes, of course.
I think the other thing is that when they talk to you, they must get a good idea of your, if you like, your mental stance.
Yes.
The way you approach life. And having spoken to you for the last Ah,
Yes.
I can say that you've got a very positive attitude to life, so you're actually working on the basis that you're going to get through it.
Absolutely, yeah. It goes without saying, any parent, my children are my absolute driving force
Sure.
behind this. There are times whereby I've been in hospital for long periods of time, months on end, whereby you are isolated through purely for your health as well. Your neutrophils fall, which is your immune system, and when they fall to a certain level, they have to isolate you. They have to make sure that you are safe. Children, unfortunately, carry lots of bugs, colds, coughs and everything. Forget COVID as a whole, just as, children do. So I've been kept away from my children. So I have a little regime whereby I pin up their pictures in my hospital room, and I look at them and I say, right, come on, let's do this. We're going to do this. I'm doing it for you. And of course, my husband, he's exceptionally supportive. But you do have a driving force, and like we've discussed, you still have to get up in the morning. The washing still needs to be done. The hoover still needs to go round. And I think because I've allowed life to continue, and that give me some normality when I'm not in hospital, does give me the drive, because ultimately I want to live. And what some people take for granted sometimes, which is, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. My life is now turned into, I want to do these things, because ultimately they're the things, that you just take for granted every day, that it turns, you want to brush your children's hair. You want to get them dressed. You want to do that, because there are days where I'm not physically able, or I've been in hospital and I'm not physically able to be there. So when I am here, what's really important to me is to be present for everybody.
Yeah.
So if I'm seeing friends, I need to be present, and that's living.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, the importance of fighting and continuing on, and to give back. So the charity side of things, whereby I've been fortunate enough to be taken on by this charity. Now it's time for me to give back. How can we give back? I'm so lucky that I have the support of family and friends around me, whereby they're helping me achieve that. But I want to continue on after this,
Of course.
to give back.
Yeah.
And, as we've talked, and we won't go into it too much, but there are lots of things, being a cancer patient, that are highlighted to you, that's quite unfair because of financially,
Sure.
The help and the aid is not there. And it all boils down to money, or a postcode, a postcode lottery. Are you entitled to this treatment? No, sorry, because, you live in this area and this is your catchment. And there's lots of things that people are unaware of, because people don't want to, in a funny sort of way, know about.
Because it's scary.
Because it's scary,
Yeah.
because you always think, it's never going to happen to me. You wake up, you go to work, you do the groceries, you pick the kids up from school, you cook the dinner.
Sure.
Life is very quick.
And you can forget the other stuff in the background.
You can forget the other stuff in the background. And of course,
Yeah.
why do you need to think about those things? But my God, you do when it starts happening to you, and it does. There's nothing that can prepare anybody for the words that you have cancer. There are no words, there are no actions that can prepare you for those words to come out of an oncologist's mouth, or that you're on end of life and, you're going to die, and, there's nothing we can do for you. Because ultimately we all hold on to that word hope, don't we? We all need a bit of hope. And the hope is that, for me personally, I want to go on and I want to advocate for people like me, whereby I can give them that hope. There are charities out there that will take you on. There are treatments being developed all the time. And how do we get those treatments to these people, if they're not, available to them because of a postcode, or, because of their circumstances, because they're not able to get a second opinion, maybe.
Yeah.
There's so much that can be done. And I think that's important, really, for people to understand that there is another life out of there. There are people you know, living their life with cancer.
Yeah.
It's just how well they're able to do that.
To cope.
Yeah,
Thanks, Sadie.
it's fine.
So there we have it. We've had a chat with Sadie Ray, who is currently being treated for her cancer in London and I think locally as well.
Yes.
And the reality is that the treatment she's getting is through a charity, and we want to help that charity to be able to help Sadie some more perhaps, and to be able to help lots of other people. Sadie is running a Just Giving page, which you're hugely welcome to donate to. And her friends have also got together and are running a raffle, which is going to be drawn this coming weekend. It's cheap, but there's an amazing load of prizes. There's, I think, 77 prizes right now.
Yeah.
That's staggering, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And loads of money has also been put in by the same prize sponsors, if you like. We're going to be covering that, I hope, come the weekend. But if you want to get involved, you can donate on her Just Giving page, or you can approach any one of the ladies whose names you see on the screens now. If you know them, you can approach them. You can also put in a comment on this page, and someone will get in touch with you and send you some raffle tickets, because all of the money that's raised through the raffle and through the Just Giving page will go to the charity that's supporting Sadie's treatment right now. You can help. It's pretty easy. I'm Chris. This is Felixstowe Live. We'll see you soon.